So hi everybody, this is part 2 of my series on the Army. So I just wanted to share a few more thoughts. Back to basic training, with that drill sergeant, he started in on me right after that shark attack. So when I was at my most vulnerable state, I had started crying and had walked around the corner, and he started giving me advice and pretended to be my friend. I just want you to remember that they are not your friend, and almost nobody is your friend, and it can get really lonely, and be very careful about who you trust. I also, there was one woman there that she was very young, tried to pick a fight. Don't fight back, let them hit you and they would be cast out. I didn't fight back with her, and I was like, go ahead and hit me. I don't care, I'm so miserable, put me out of my misery. But she didn't hit me, and she was smart, and I think she's grown up now. She was very young then, and I don't know what kind of home she grew up in. But anyway, that's just some thoughts on that. And I was really scared with that drill sergeant when I told him I wouldn't go with him to the hotel. He gave me this look of death, and I was scared, and then it followed me to my next school. And so don't get messed up with these guys, because they know what they're doing and you don't. And it might seem innocent, and you shouldn't be the one getting into trouble, because what it is a power relationship, and they're taking advantage of you. And that's another thing I wanted to talk to you about with the Army, is that you will be given positions of power over others, whether that be actual power, like rank, or positions. Don't abuse it, or you'll get called names like Snake Eyes. I saw people that they would only do the paperwork of their friends, or they would put people out of the Army because they didn't like the color of their skin, literally. And it goes both ways. Or I hear men saying, well, she's only there because she must have slept her way up, or it couldn't be because she has a college degree and she's smart. And I could never get promoted because everyone was afraid that someone else would complain that it was of sexual harassment, that there would be an investigation. So it's almost impossible, the Army. I would never recommend my daughter to go there, but I'm glad for the veteran benefits, but while you're in, it's pretty miserable. Nobody really uses their brain. Everyone is just so base. Everyone turns into animals. And I literally had a sergeant tell me that he believed himself an animal, and that he had the right to rape women in war because that's what his body told him to do. So they just turn into these werewolves. And I know that kids today are actually thinking themselves animals, which takes me into a dream I did have, but I'm not going to go into that. That's another video. We are not animals, and we are to control those passions and appetites. That is the commandment in the gospel, the scriptures, and our laws prevent those things, and these people should be prosecuted, but they rarely are. They use their power relationship to take advantage of women and others that are at a lower position. And you're scum when you do that. You just are, and you think you're something else. You're not. You're nothing. And one day God will be like, what were you doing? And you'll be like, well. And I wanted to make a parallel to the Holocaust. And not that people are being murdered like that right now with the Army, but if you go back to the Dick Cheney movie, Vice, people are given a lot of power in the military, and you can do really wicked things with that power, but you will be held accountable in this life or the next. And with the Holocaust, there would be people, their own people, the Jewish people, or others that were prisoners, and they also were horrible to their own because they had power, because they could. and it made them feel powerful and good to be terrible to others. But then, you know what, then you're released, and that power is taken away from you, and you're just like everybody else, because you were always just like everyone else, and you're terrible. And anyway, I'm moving on. I wanted to make some points. If you don't smoke, don't start smoking. And when you go to basic training, it's a great time to quit. It becomes a social activity for a lot of people, but trust me, you will pay the consequences in your health, as well as drinking. Like, everyone's doing it, but it's a great way to get raped, or get accused of rape, men and women. Like, so just don't do it. Like, you're stupid. Like, I have seen both. I have consoled both men and women that have been raped. I know men that have been accused of rape because they were with someone, they were both drunk, whatever, and no matter what the story is, they're accused, and you're in a lot of trouble. And then the smoking just ruins your lungs, and you smell, and it costs a lot of money to smoke. And you know what, just my short deployment of 5 months overseas to the Middle East, it has ruined my lungs. I have to take medicine every day, at least twice a day, of guanfacin. I can't say it, but it's like a cough medicine that thins the mucus to help me breathe. I don't smoke. I have never smoked. And you think I would ever get any help from the VA? No. Because I grew up in a higher elevation, so my lungs are larger than most women. So when I do their tests and I'm down on the floor and can't breathe, they say, oh, you're fine. And I say, I have to hold on to the wall to walk now because I can't breathe and I'm lightheaded. And they're like, oh, no, you're fine. But trust me, you're not going to get anything from the VA for your ruined lungs. Especially not if you smoked. But when you deploy, and a lot of you will probably go to the Middle East, they have terrible sandstorms. Use something to cover your mouth. They give you something, but it goes around your neck, and it's so hot over there. See if you can get something that is more like a filter. They have the masks, like when you do construction. You can't wear that in formation, but you might be able to figure something out that you can wear just around, because it is so bad now. Literally, like, I can't breathe. I always have to take medicine, and it's really, I'm really young still, and it's kind of sad. And I'd never smoked, so but the air quality was so bad, and it's not just sand that you're breathing in a lot of toxins, a lot of bacteria, and who knows what it did to my lungs. I actually heard about a soldier that died. He got an infection in his lungs. He was a lieutenant. Because of the bacteria is so bad over there, and it's a different kind than we're used to. So that's just some thoughts on taking care of your lungs. And you can order stuff when you're overseas, so you don't necessarily have to get it before you leave, but you want to think about that. And it's so hot, like I said, I couldn't stand to wear anything around my neck, and so I didn't always have it and over my mouth. I just couldn't stand it. Like, you walk out of the tent and you just feel like you're gonna shrivel up and die right there. It's just 134 degrees when I was there. So hot. Anyway, so the next one is combatives I wanted to talk about. You'll start doing that in basic training, but never do combatives with anyone that is bigger than you. I broke my neck that way with a young man that was like 6'2" and 225. He pulled down on my neck too hard, and he cracked the vertebrae. It still took 10 months, and then it ruptured. Because my job is so physical, like, you have helmets on your head, and it couldn't take it anymore, and so the vertebrae finally it ruptured, and I still suffer like horrible pain in my arms. I can't put anything around my neck either. Like, it's very tender still. So so don't do combatives with anyone that's bigger than you. Then I talked to you about the socks for rook marches, and then don't drink. Like, I know that's like a social thing, especially if you're underage, you will get kicked out so fast. But a lot of people get raped when they're drunk. And you think you can trust people, but trust me, I know you can't trust me, right? Don't trust me either, but you can't trust me. I'm not going to rape you. Well, okay, that's crazy, but I knew a young man, I shouldn't tell you the stories, but he was raped by his own friend, like his best friend. Like, who would ever have imagined a young woman betrayed by her own family member she thought would protect her? Like, some of these, like, it's not even the rape you have to get over, it's the betrayal of people that you trusted. So don't allow yourself to become so intoxicated with any kind of substance that you can't protect yourself, you don't know what's going on. Like, it's just stupid. So, and I'm not saying that you deserve what happened to you. I'm just want others to be warned not to do the same thing, because it hurts you so much and it damages you and really will set you back, okay? And then to watch out for the cadre, because they know the predators know what they're doing and they're looking. Don't get involved with them, even if you're super desperate. Letters from home may not come, and you're not the only one that doesn't get a letter from home, and you don't have to have letters from home. Ibuprofen, make sure you always eat. After I rolled my ankle, they were giving me these giant ibuprofens, but that's all they give in the army pretty much is water and ibuprofen. So, but it ruined my stomach, and now I have like issues. So you always want to make sure that you have something, that you take something with it, even if it's like antacids at night or something. And with sore throats, I always carried a little package of salt with me so I could do a salt gargle, especially when I was deployed. Otherwise, you'll get sick. And you don't want to get sick, especially in basic training and your schooling, because you'll be set back. And you don't want to get like pneumonia or anything, of course. You have to redo the school if you get sick. You don't want to do that. Yes, and this is not like you can just miss and then, you know, you get a D and you move on. That just doesn't work like that. And then I always carried a little toothbrush with me. I don't have it. It's just from the dollar store. Like it cuts in half and then fits inside the other half. And I always had it in my pocket. And if you have acid reflux, don't use any toothpaste. You don't need toothpaste. Just brush your teeth really good, and you'll be fine. And you can't use any kind of Listerine, of course, when you're in basic training, because it has alcohol in it. People that are addicted use that. And then you always want to have protein with you, because it stabilizes your blood sugar and you need it to keep muscle and to build muscle. And especially women, like, it is really difficult for women to build and keep muscle. But they will consistently give you less protein because you're a woman. But you just need to keep going back and getting more and asking for more portions. Like, I always ate eggs. I would go back for more eggs because it has a lot of protein in it. And then, so it's actually really important to help prevent dehydration. And then your muscle is everything. If you're not strong enough to do stuff, people will see you weak and as a victim, and they'll take advantage of you and bully you more. And then, so when you're preparing to go to basic training, you don't need a lot. You're going to have a ton to carry when you leave. You're going to be throwing stuff away. But you will want at least one change of clothes. Even if it's just the clothes you wear on your back, you'll have money to buy more when you go to leave. You'll have opportunities to go to the mall, like the day you leave, like on the family day or something. Maybe if somebody takes you there, or you can take a taxi and to get another change of clothes. But literally, you'll be throwing stuff away, so you don't want to take too much. And then, and ladies, your iron levels, you want to, I don't believe in birth control, because not because of pregnancy, but because it actually makes me sick and causes depression. So I don't think women should take it, but it can prevent you from having your period. But you want to make sure that you're eating lots of red meat and green leaves to make sure if iron is an issue for you, which it is for a lot of women. If you don't have enough iron, your oxygen will be low and you'll have difficulty running and staying awake. Our hormone levels as well, having them go up and down, also makes us tired, and we do need more sleep than men, and that's just a reality. But you will not get more sleep. And they will try and deprive you of sleep. That's just what they do. But sleep deprivation is a causation factor for post-traumatic stress disorder when you are deployed. And people think that that's some kind of badge of honor that you're deprived of sleep. Oh, we were up for 3 days. Well, you start to have hallucinations at that point, and you can be easily traumatized. So you want to make sure you're getting lots of sleep and you're not staying up and playing video games. At least, of course, this is when you're deployed or at your unit. And you want to avoid carbs, ladies, especially ladies, because you just put on the fat. And if you're fat, like, it's going to be extra hard for you to carry your gear. Like, you just can't be fat because your bones can't take it. Our bones are not as dense as men's, and muscle is heavier. So you can be thin as you were before you gained the muscle, but you're going to be heavier. Your body structure can't handle all of the weight of your gear and you being fat and muscular. You can't do it all. So eventually, like, I lost half an inch in just 4 years' time. And it wasn't because I was fat. But I saw other women that seemed overweight and their backs couldn't handle the load of what we had to carry. You can't do it. And it looks funny, it looks really neat when women are carrying really heavy stuff, and I would do it too. Don't overload your backpack. Do the very minimum for your ruck marches, which is, I believe, is 40 pounds. Don't do any more than is necessary. And when you're carrying stuff and they're having you load stuff up, you don't need to show off because nobody is taking notes. But women consistently would take more weight really than they should be carrying because we think we have to act like men. And maybe we do, but I'll tell you, just get out because you're going to be ruined, your body will be ruined, and you just have arthritis all the time, like me now. All the time I have to take medicine. With hot climates, you want to eat fruit because that stays in your body and helps you stay hydrated, and drink lots of water, of course. Be careful about who you share information with, of course. People who you think are your friends are not your friends. Do talk about if you're being sexually harassed. Don't fight. And then I talked about insoles in your shoes. It's super important. And then I think that's everything. So I think that I talked about everything, all the points I really wanted to cover. But like the power relationships are also super important, that you stay away from people that are more powerful than you romantically. I don't even know if I would ever recommend, like, I have seen people that had those kinds of relationships successfully, but I have seen too many, and I've seen it even go the other way where it's a man being victimized by a woman that was in higher rank. A lot of times that's because, well, in that situation, the man was looking to that person for help. So I don't always, but it's always about power. There's always a power struggle there. They're not equals in some way. So even if it's just in the person's head. But I would definitely tell you, just stay away from power relationships. If that person is much more powerful or has any kind of power directly over you. I saw young women in the military police within our unit, all of them get pregnant by their leadership, and nothing was ever done to those men. And all of them got out. And a lot of them are single moms now. And it's basically rape. And you can get mad at me for all you want when I say that, but I have been there myself. And you can't tell a leader no, because you are trained to say yes and to please, especially when you're a woman, especially where a lot of us come from. Us, females that look to the army, we want to be stronger. And cannot, like all of you men that looked the other way, you did the wrong thing. And you told these men that it was okay. And you told the women that it was okay. A lot of them had abortions. Some of them didn't. But I tell you that every single woman that I know that had an abortion, that was a real baby, and they knew it after. At least after. They might not have believed it before. Because every single one of them that I knew got pregnant again very soon after. And they had that baby. And all of them mourned what they had done. So the women livers that think that's great do not have the best interest of women in mind. And so I've seen a lot of sad things, and it's unfortunate, and that's what it is. Maybe things can change as we talk about it. I don't know.